Yo, I really genuinely can't believe I'm doing this, but yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy, and it's Hyga, and today I am going to bring you the updated 140, what I believe to be probably the best damage crit setup for Myth. My Myth is the first one that I took to 140 in test realm, and so I want to do the same thing in live. We're now in live realm, and I really think that this is probably the best we're gonna get. Okay. All that stuff is the same stats in Caramel. It's going to be the same stats whether you're getting the crafted gear or you're getting the gear dropped from one of the bosses. The only difference is some of the cards on the gear, right? Some of them have like the bolstered wards, some of them have like Aegis blades or whatever. There's minor differences in the cards, but the stats for the gear is the same. And with that being said, and based on the stats and the crit calculations and all of that stuff, I think I have the current best kind of min-maxed glass cannon hitting build for Myth. So as per usual, I will go through the gear and then I will go through the stats in the end. Now, starting things off with the deck, Paradox. Now, Caramel did just come out recently, so this could change, right? If they release a new deck or like a new boss or something that has a better deck, or, you know, new jewels or something, whatever the case. But as of right now, I think this is going to be the best setup. We're using the Mythic Paradox deck. For the mount, we're using the Myth Gulcher. We're not using the Trumpy Bronto, we're using the Gulcher. For the ring, we're using Dragoon. Now, also do keep in mind that the crit jewels, I believe, have been updated. I believe there are 20 crit jewels and 19 for 135 and 140 that you can farm for. I don't have them yet, but they're not going to make too much of a difference with the new crit changes. So for now, I still have my 18s. Amulet, we're still using Shane Von Shane, 35 crit. For the Athame, we're using Morganth. The crafted one from Caramel gives a little bit more damage, but it's just like the Dragoon one. It doesn't give any power pip, so I'm not going to sacrifice the power pip for one extra damage. It's just not worth it. For the wand, we're actually using the Primeval Horde Pack wand. We're using this with the set bonus, so I have the Frillasaur as my pet, which I will show you guys in a bit. For the boots, Dragoon boots. For the robe, Tennyson. And for the hat, Dragoon. Now, for the pet, Fuzzy Leo, shout out Dale, Quint damage Thinking Cap or Quint damage Mighty, whichever one. It's a Quint damage pet, full damage. Now, if you haven't watched the crit video, I'll go ahead and put a link to it at the top right of your screen now. But I highly recommend watching mine or Alex's or both crit videos so you can try and understand the new crit system. I'm not going to explain it in depth in this video because we already did videos for that. But with the new crit system, we can kind of ease off the gas a little bit in the crit department and bring up our damage and still be able to have around the same output for damage and DPP. If you're a Myth Wizard, or if you're a Storm Wizard or a Fire Wizard, if you're a hitter, I want you to guess how much damage you think I got this build to have. Pure damage stat. Don't worry about the crit right now, but think about the damage. It's Myth. Think about how much damage I have. I guess. Let me know what your guess is down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Now that you've guessed, hopefully, let's go ahead and break down the actual damage. 175. Is that a storm? Is that a fire? No, that's a Myth Wizard. So we're rocking 7.3k health, 175 damage. We have 24 accuracy, which leaves us with a 1% chance to fizzle our shadow spells, like Mystic Colossus, the new Tatzelworm, or whatever it's called, Tatzelworm Terror, Mystic Colossus, Snake Charmer, Scion, all of that stuff, which is how it's called. But we have more than 100% chance for everything else, and our main hits are going to be like Orthrus and Hubunga Frog anyways. So that's really cool. 31 resist, not bad. Don't care. Glass cannon, right? Doesn't matter. Now, into the crit department. We are rocking 721 crit. In my eyes, with the new critical system, the ideal crit for right now at 140 is going to be anywhere between like 700 to like 780. I think you want to try and keep your crit somewhere in there. The difference between 720 and 780 isn't going to be too crazy, but anything lower than that, you're gonna start really seeing the damage change in your multiplier, and anything higher than that, it's just not gonna be worth it. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have a pet with a lot of crit, you could either get a pet with a lot of damage, or you could get rid of the crit on your rings and athames and go for pierce or anything like that. But you can definitely ease off the gas on the crit for sure. Now, another thing to keep in mind is our block is very low, 61 block. This means if we get crit on in the new crit system, we're going to be taking a bit more damage. However, if you have a friend that's running with you, running a boss with you, and they're running a crit healing setup, the more crit they have, the less crit you have, the more their crit heals will do on you. Now, block, if you don't know, does take heals into effect. So if you have a bunch of block and a bunch of resist, people that heal you aren't going to be healing as much. So having low block means if people crit heals on you, they'll be doing a lot more, which is good. 8% pierce, not too bad. 24 outgoing, not necessary. 13 incoming, again, not too necessary, but it's there. We're also rocking 103 pip and 686 pip conversion with the 125 shadow pip rating. Now, with 175 damage, I never thought I would see Myth here, but I think it's pretty sick, and I really am a fan of the new crit changes because it allows us, like I said, to take a bit off of the crit. And that allows us to get a bit more creative, go more into damage, and, you know, change up the pet meta and, you know, what everyone is going for nowadays. But this is the Myth build that I've come up with. Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, it's been your boy. If you did like it, a like would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more. Until next time, it's been your boy.